today's history video, I'd like to talk about George Washington's record as Commander-in-Chief of the American Army during the American Revolution. His prowess, his military skill, is often overlooked because when it comes to maneuvering on the battlefield and feints and flank attacks and stuff, it wasn't his specialty. He was okay at it, but it wasn't he wasn't as good as Robert E. Lee, for example, or other generals were. But he redefined war, and he completely changed the whole objective of war in a very decisive way. The first thing was that he abandoned the idea that the important thing in war was what cities you captured, and in particular, did you capture the enemy capital. When the British occupied New York and then occupied Philadelphia, they figured that would end the war. We took control of the enemy capital. But the Congress just fled to a variety of other cities and stayed away out of range of the British Army. And we waited until Philadelphia, till they tired of being in Philadelphia, and they decided to leave. The British did. The second thing is that he understood that war is fundamentally a political battle within the other country that you're engaging. That if the other country is a democracy, which for all of its imperfections England basically was, that if you can increase casualties and you can increase the costs of war to a point where the enemy populace doesn't want to sustain it, the government has got to end the war. And that was what Washington did. Britain sent 3 armies to the United States. One was captured by, one was Burgoyne's army that was captured by General Gates in Saratoga. The second was Cornwallis's army that was captured by Washington at Yorktown. And the third was in New York City and stayed there for the entire war, unmolested. Occasionally they would attack Washington, he would retreat in New Jersey, he would go back up in New Jersey, but the army remained inviolate. So the question Washington had after Yorktown was, what am I going to do with that 3rd army, and will the British keep sending more armies? But it turned out that the defeated Yorktown so undermined Britain's ability to fight as a democracy, so undermined the force of public opinion for the war in Britain, that the British had to end it. They basically had to agree to a peace settlement. And by the way, they agreed to a peace settlement that was beyond our wildest dreams. They gave us all the land to the Mississippi River, which was an incredible concession that we never even expected. But it was based on Washington's understanding that positional warfare didn't really matter. What mattered was keep his army alive, never let his army be defeated or extinguished, lose a battle but retreat and fight again, while at the same time inflicting sufficient casualties and cost on the enemy that the enemy's public opinion demanded that the war end. And that, by the way, is very similar to the strategy that was used to defeat the United States in Vietnam. Thanks for watching.